We know that there was no formal immunity agreement that was reached. And Lara, I want to go to you first on this one, please. No formal immunity agreement, so that there was nothing drafted up in writing and then taken to the court for the court to essentially sign off on and give the court seal of approval that, okay, look, this is a promise that the DA is making. We're making this 100% official. This case will never, ever come back. Instead, it was a verbal agreement. It was an agreement that was also discussed publicly, as Bruce Castor had spoken publicly about the intent not to prosecute him. He was the former DA in Montgomery County. And then Bill Cosby relied on that promise. All along, when we've been discussing this case, Lara, I kept thinking that the fact that there was no formal agreement made was going to be a sticking point and going to be a problem for him. I want you to weigh in on that, please.
Clearly, it wasn't a problem because, remember, in this case, it was publicly known. Everybody knew it. And the reason this DA had done it is because he thought he didn't have enough evidence and he really needed a confession, which he didn't have. So instead of pursuing the criminal path, he decided to give the victim in this case a different path to justice, which was the civil path to justice, at least getting some monetary satisfaction here, a way to complete her in a different way. And to do that and to get to that, he had to free up Mr. Cosby from the fear of prosecution. And he did that. He did it publicly for a specific purpose. And relying on that promise, which was publicly made, I think that's as strong as a formal agreement, if you ask me, if not stronger. I mean, the whole world, the entire nation knew about it. Why have it in writing when it's so publicly stated? Not only is it publicly stated, it is relied upon by Cosby and his team of attorneys. And as a result, he makes detrimental statements during the deposition because he couldn't invoke his right to the Fifth Amendment, his Fifth Amendment right anymore. So I think it's pretty clear. I mean, it goes to the core of our criminal justice system and the concept of fairness of a trial. When you've got a promise like that, and as a result, you rely on it, and as a result, you speak when otherwise you would have never opened up your mouth, then you know what? Then the prosecution needs to come through and needs to keep that promise. Again, I know the decision is boring. I know the decision is disgusting in some ways. It's hard to fathom how a convicted felon walks out of jail when he was convicted by a jury and the evidence was there. Again, we have a criminal justice system and we have to follow that. We need to sometimes put emotions aside. There's a reason why our system is so great and respected all over the world. And there's a reason why it works. Remember something. If these prosecutors did not keep that promise, why would any defendant in any case from now on ever trust anything the prosecutor says? Why would they ever say, okay, if the prosecutor makes a decision to induce them to do something else, why would they ever believe that? So it's not going to, it really, I think it comes back to haunt prosecutors and victims too. Here, the prosecutor was really trying to protect the victim, to try and at least get her the monetary side of this. So we want to keep the integrity of our system and not really think about one person, one defendant. It's bigger than that. Let's always remember that.